Well, guys, I hate to admit it, but I'm in a bit of a weird place with this poem. I'm the guy who comes here and tells you that your favorite poem is actually about death. I'm the guy who comes here and tries to tell you that your second favorite poem, well, really, it's about the fact that life sucks and it's always going to. I'm the guy that comes here on this channel and tells you, look, this is a very well loved poem. But really, it's about very dark things. That's normally what I do. The consensus on the poem we're about to talk about today seems to be that it is about something very, very dark. And I think it's about the exact opposite. Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we're here for another poetry discussion, which will appear, of course, in two playlists, on the channel. Number one being the poetry discussion playlist, now over 700 videos strong, and number two being the Robert Frost playlist, a playlist dedicated to the grumpy old man himself. And normally, that's where we find his poetry, in some place dark and brooding, some place about isolation. I don't think that's what we have today. The poem in question is called Acceptance, and it reads as such. When the spent sun throws up its rays on cloud and goes down burning into the gulf below, no voice in nature is heard to cry aloud at what has happened. Birds, at least, must know it is the change to darkness in the sky. Murmuring something quiet in her breast, one bird begins to close a faded eye, or overtaken too far from his nest, hurrying low above the grove, some waif swoops just in time to his remembered tree. At most, he thinks or twitters softly, safe. Now let the night be dark for all of me. Let the night be too dark for me to see into the future. Let what will be, be. Everyone that I've seen make an argument on this poem is suggesting that acceptance is acceptance of death, casting this here. When the spent sun throws up its rays on cloud and goes down burning into the gulf below, no voice in nature is heard to cry aloud at what has happened. Birds at least must know it is the change to darkness in the sky, arguing for that as death. And the birds are accepting death. And nature itself doesn't complain too much because the sun has died. I don't really see the argument here for that. I mean, I guess it's there in that first five lines, but after that, we get something different entirely. We know, as does all of nature, know that the sun goes down and the sun comes up. All of nature is in tune with that rhythm, except for us wretches who work overnights. But though nature might not understand that it is the earth spinning around the sun that does it, they know it happens. All of nature knows it happens. All of nature is in tune with it. All of nature has evolved in lockstep with that cycle. So the argument that no one is mourning the sun's death as the sun sets doesn't strike me as particularly compelling. What I see is that all of these birds are racing home, and this one waif. Now, waif, as far as I understand the word, is basically just kind of like a child that is not taken care of. So, at least as far as I understand the word, maybe I'm wrong on. I should have looked that up, but I think that what the insinuation is here from that is that nature doesn't wait for the birds to be adults, proper adults. They're on their own. They have to fend for themselves. And that is from whence that word safe springs. What I see happening in this poem is not, no one is rueing the fact that the sun has died. This is a story about accepting death. I think that it's possible to talk yourself into that with that last line. Let what will be, but I don't think that's what's going on there. I think that what this poem is actually about is the cyclic nature of life. Perhaps, if you want to stretch it this far, the seasonality of life. And the bird races home and says, safe. I am safe. Well, if the sun just died, you're not safe. If the sun just died, you've got, 42 minutes or whatever before the heat goes out, as it were. Now let the night be dark for all of me. Maybe you can stretch that to make some sense for death. I think that what it is it is a prayer towards renewal. Let me survive the night. Let me get through the night rested. Let the night be dark for all of me. Let the night be too dark for me to see into the future. That, I think, is a troubling line if you're trying to make this poem out to be about death, about accepting death. That is a line that I think is more about the hope towards renewal that night brings, the change of day, the change of season. This bird is getting home and basically praying that the night is restorative. Shouldn't we all hope so? This final line, then, let what will be, is basically, I don't really see that all that compellingly as, well, if I die, let me die, right? I don't see it compellingly as that within the context of this poem. What I see there with that line in the context of this poem is tomorrow will come. Tomorrow will be just as challenging as was today. And because it will be, I have to accept the fact that perhaps I fail on the day. Maybe I have to go to sleep hungry. Maybe there isn't all that much for me. Maybe tomorrow, if you want to get back to the idea, the specter of death, maybe tomorrow I will not just in time swoop into my remembered tree. Maybe I won't be back tomorrow. But that is a challenge for tomorrow. And in the meantime, while it's not tomorrow, I have to become rejuvenated for the day. That's what I think is going on in this poem. And I think, I think that birds are a very fitting symbol for this. Really, one of the things that still, so I do work overnights, and one of the things that still wrecks me from time to time is the birds, trying to go to sleep at the break of day when every bird in the world is tweeting. Birds bring in the morning. Birds bring the morning to us. All of that stupid tweeting about that they do. Now, that is what we know of birds. That's the common thing, right? The cock crows in the morning. The birds sing at the break of day. Here in this poem, instead of the morning, what Robert Frost is giving us is the nighttime. There's not terribly many references to the birds at night, the birds going home, the birds sleeping. There's owls That's kind of the only nighttime bird you ever really hear about, but the rest of them go home. That is what I have for this poetry discussion. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. There's poetry every Monday, and I hope to have you back for the next one.